X-Men 97 makes a return this year with its season 2 in showing us the past, present, and future of Apocalypse's reign. This season has been one of my most anticipated watchings out of this year for Marvel, and the premiere of 3 episodes did deliver on that hype. It gave us 3 separate episodes focusing on 3 separate groups so that we wouldn't have to be waiting 2 more weeks just to catch up with the characters that we spent episode 1 with, and that's honestly a real great addition. I was really scared that when they had 3 episodes up on Disney when I first watched that they put out this season, scared that it wouldn't do well, but with this I think it was worth having 3 episodes. Now, since this did take place in 3 different eras, I thought I might go along with my review of these episodes with the 3 separate timelines. But just overall, things that I loved about this season, the intro has to be one of the best intros out of any animation series I've ever seen. It just always gives a new interesting intro each episode. Even though I love the original series and that intro, I did skip it at points because it was just not necessary each episode on a binge watch to see it, and I more of a just get to the storyline. But this episode, it gives us an interesting new intro that focuses on the characters that we get to see. I especially love the X-Force intro with how it focused on characters like Archangel, Cable, Sunspot, characters that we've never really seen in the intro before. Overall, time travel concept is getting really played out, and whenever I see time travel, it gets really confusing. I like the idea of focusing on Apocalypse and Cable in this because these are 2 characters that are known for time travel. It gave the series an overall focus on the time travel, but I still find it very confusing in how time travel works. Just maybe because that's my brain overthinking it, but I just don't love time travel shows as much as I liked season 1 for like that sort of series. The animation is still fantastic. I love the designs of the characters. I love the animation. A couple of shots felt very jagged, maybe because they were saving budget for some shots like the amazing fight scenes that we've gotten, how it captures the original series but brings it up to a bit more modern day. So starting off with the first episode, which was centered around the future, the setting has to be my favorite out of the 3. It gave this post-apocalyptic wasteland vibe, and that I loved the different ways each character would dress to show how they were adapting to the new wasteland aesthetic they were in. I'm really disappointed that we didn't get enough time spent in this place, considering that we got out of it in the first 2 episodes. Nathan Summers had to be my favorite part about the episode, just because seeing Cyclops try and bond with his kid but not spoil the fact that he's his father, and how he's trying to look out for his son, and how him and Jean were going to raise him on their own. I just think Cyclops and his relationship with Cable was a highlight of the episode. Jean Grey, on the other hand, I don't love how she's treating him like her son. She's not his mother. I get that it's a clone of Jean Grey and that memory-wise she thinks of him as her son, but it just gives me a weird feeling whenever she tries and pretends as if he's her son. Cyclops at work, it gives him some wants and different needs that give him this motivation to stay with his son and give him the best life possible, whereas for the better good, he has to leave him, and that's a very interesting character story that he had to go on. I don't love Jean Grey. One of my friends is very against Jean Grey as a character just because of season 1, but yeah, I think after this I might have to agree with him. I think the other characters got sidelined a lot. Wolverine and Morph especially, but Forge and Storm got a bit of their romance back in this episode, but it's just not something I'm especially interested in. I would have preferred that to be maybe a focus on one of the episodes in the series, because I do love them as a romance and I like them as characters, but like them getting little glimpses, just I needed a bit more of a story with them. But onto the present, X-Force has to be one of my favorite inclusions in the episode. I like the fact that Cable's recruiting people who have had interactions with Apocalypse, and that's what led him to recruiting Jubilee, because otherwise I don't think Cable would ever actually want her to be a part of his team. He knows that she has had interactions with Apocalypse, and that ultimately she would be a good ally to have. I like Archangel returning. He was definitely one of my favorite characters, especially with the Apocalypse stories in the original series, but I'm just really not there for seeing X-Factor in the episode because they were very just boring government operatives. I like Polaris, but like knockoff Cyclops, Havoc, is just not a great leader. Putting little mutant kids in cages was not the way to go about it. It made the team so much more hateable, when I think it would have been better if we kind of understood where they were coming from with this, but it was not worth seeing all these mutant kids in cages just making me feel sad. Jubilee was a fun protagonist of the episode. I definitely think she was a highlight, and her powers are so interesting when they're used in animation like this. She's definitely one of my least favorite characters in live action, but I think animation, her powers look so amazing and beautiful, and her romance with Sunspot was really fun. I like how they're a teenage love. It's a very different love than someone like Storm, Forge, Cyclops, and Jean. I love that it's different and that it's more teen romance, and that's something I think the series really didn't need, but I'm happy they included. Cable as the leader of X-Force was not necessarily the best leader. He's an anti-hero, so I didn't expect him to be as good of a leader. He definitely recruited people who shared his motivation, and I definitely understand him killing is a part of his character, and him being sort of an anti-hero is a part of his character as well. I just don't love him as a protagonist or a leader for this team, and I definitely think in the future of the show they might be better off just getting rid of him, because as much as I think Cyclops needs his son, Cable is not the son that he wanted. So I think maybe it might be it's time for us to go our separate ways kind of thing at the end of this season, or heck, maybe even the beginning of next season, just to kind of get him out of there, because I don't really think him being a main factor of the series is good. Now onto the past. I love the story with Apocalypse and Magneto. It's definitely my favorite episode just because of it, with Magneto trying to share him and Charles's dreams of mutants and humans living among each other so that the future can be changed, and I love that. I think it's a really great thing to see that Magneto is trying to help Apocalypse instead of manipulating him, because he gave faith in the fact that he is not the man that he knew in hundreds of years in the future. He can help him on his crusade, but he can kind of guide him as this mentor figure to him. It's definitely the way I think they should have played it. Magneto, I definitely didn't think would be a character ever in the right against Charles, but Charles not giving him the opportunity to redeem himself. Magneto gave him the opportunity. Of course, it didn't work out in the end, but he gave him the opportunity to change, and he almost succeeded in that. Future had to stay the same, so I get it. They couldn't actually redeem him, especially if they need him for the rest of the season. I like the appearance of Kang in the episode. If they do spend a couple more episodes in the past, I think Kang as a sort of mini antagonist, sort of in the form of Mr. Sinister in the first season, would be really fun to see. I didn't expect them to ever use Kang in a show or movie like this for maybe a couple of more years at least. Them using Kang really showed that they let the creatives do the story that they wanted to tell, even though the controversy with Jonathan Majors was still in the background probably when this season was getting made. I definitely think it was worth bringing him in here, because not only is he a good antagonist, because if you know the lore, Rama-Tut, you might just go, oh, that must be a random side character from the Marvel Universe from ancient Egypt, but no, he's Kang, time traveler, and him using the technology to send them into the future, hopefully at least before episode 5, is really good, because Kang as a time traveler I think fits into the whole series very well, and them using his technology, which is thousands of years in the future, was really fun to see. I definitely want to see more from this Kang, just because I don't understand how his whole picture works in this thing. I just need a bit more from him. If we don't get to see it, I won't be too mad, because I definitely have trust in the series. Episode 3 has to be my favorite episode, just because it's one of my favorite stories out of them. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed these episodes, like this video down below. If you want to see more from me, I have an X-Men 97 season 2 reaction to the trailer if you just want to see my first thoughts on the trailer. But yeah, with that being said, I'll maybe be doing a couple of more episodes like this where I just review them as they come out over the next couple of weeks, but I will probably stop after maybe 2 weeks, just so that I can kind of focus on my other videos, so that you guys get the newer videos that I have planned, and not just getting X-Men 97 for the next at least 6 weeks. Thank you guys for watching. This is Movie Nerd signing off.